Welcome back, my fellow adventurers. Today we stop off at the Montana Vortex and House of Mystery. This sacred site is located just 13 miles west of Glacier National Park and has been mystifying and exciting visitors for over 40 years. It is said that Native Americans were the first to recognize this naturally occurring phenomenon. This was a fun little stop, a place where you could feel as if gravity itself is playing tricks on you, and even question how humans can appear to shrink and grow in the eyes of others or themselves by simply walking a few short feet along a level surface. With all that said, this was a fun little stop and a great tour indeed. The tour guide was very friendly, very informative. He was just an amazing person. And I also wanted to put this video aside from our glacier trip just to make an own video of its own and a special kind of thank you to all the people who donated for us on this trip. With your guys' donation, we were able to cover the entry fee for this establishment. Sadly, I think this was one of the spots where if we didn't have your guys' donation, it's probably a spot we would have easily drove right past. The entry fee itself wasn't too terrible. It was only $12 per adult. And I think they said 6 to 12 for children were 8 and 5 under were free. So we lucked out there with our little sidekick. But definitely a fun spot I highly recommend. We easily probably spent 2 to 2.5 hours just exploring everything that we could here. It was a very special spot indeed. Now, if you're a fan of like the paranormal, perhaps seeing some orbs or listening to your mic crack, which you might hear on this, and the tour guide even said if you go back and you see any photos or video, some photos might have orbs, some video, mic quality mostly, will even sound staticky, and later on in this video you'll hear some of the static that he was even talking about. And perhaps even Bigfoot, if you're a believer.
Now, you will notice that I have a level in my hand, and I just want to show you that that bubble is moving on that level. It's not a trick level. There's no ice or jello or anything like that on there. And when we put this level on the platform, I think we can all agree, bubbles in the center of lines there, and we have a level platform, right? Would you agree with that? All right. Now, I'll tell you what.
What are you doing over there? Up there? You want to switch?
All right, go ahead and switch sides.
Switch? Go on that way?
Oh yeah, I want to control it. Finally.
I can tell a difference already.
That is weird.
Well, so you may have noticed when you walked in that one, you felt a little dizzy, but then also you noticed I'm not really standing straight, right? And if you look around, most of you aren't standing straight either. You can actually get pretty far down and do all those cool matrix moves or funny Michael Jackson moves, whatever you want to do. So, yeah, it is. It holds you up, right? So the house was built on an 18-degree angle on purpose. It's so we can have some fun in here, actually. It's about a 12-4 pitch. Do we have anybody been on a roof or a carpenter in the room or anything like that? You can bring your head up and realize I'm still not standing straight, am I? I'm not perpendicular to that board, am I? Well, just lean back. You'll know when you're there because it actually wants to bring your toes up. It wants to throw you through that window pretty good. It's challenging, but it's there. Now, come on down. Take a seat in my chair for me. All right. So what I want you to do is. Well, one, you can feel that energy pushing you back into the chair right now a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Now put your feet on the yellow footprints in front of you, and your hands on your knees, just like you have them right now. Now, without moving your feet or your hands, just lean forward and try to stand up.
No.
So we call this the timeout chair. I think you might have just figured out why. And yes, we do sell these in the gift shop. No, I'm just kidding. Now, to give you a little bit of an advantage, especially if you get stuck, what I want you to do is you can either use your hands and push off the back of the chair or the wall, just screw your butt to the very front edge of the chair. And you can do the same thing if you put your hands on your knees, and you should be able to just pop up a little bit easier. Just getting your center of gravity up of your ankles, just a little bit there. Thank you. And just find your balance. You actually lean pretty far forward into that line of energy. Or you can lean backwards, it'll take you back into the wall just like when we're on those two there. But it's subtle, but you can definitely feel it. Just be careful coming down. I don't want anybody getting hurt or anything like that. We have a ladder in the center of the room. Now, if you climb the opposite side, the front side here, it's going to be the complete opposite. It's the easiest ladder I've ever climbed. Well, we're still climbing against gravity, but this time we're climbing with that flow of energy. It's actually a lot easier getting up to the top there. Now, did anybody feel dizzy when they walked in? I think maybe a couple of you. All right, give it like 2 to 3 days. You just have to bear with it for a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. Now, if you stand here, it could be a little relaxing. What I want you to do is stand in the center, close your eyes, and lean back. And you may be able to tell which way the energy is spiraling, whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. There's going to be a quiz later, so no cheating or telling any answers or anything like that. Now, last but certainly not least, we have our ticket collector / marble portal. What I want you to do is set your marble on the ramp and watch what happens. It's just a little reminder that here at the Montana Vortex, what's up is down, down is up, and things may not be as they appear. So feel free to hang out here for a little bit.
Look at Daddy. Look at Daddy.
Baby,
Whoa.
what do you think?
Mama cry?
Lean forward more.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Hold on.
She's like swinging. She'll hold it.
I think the other way, yeah.
Can you see if you can get this stand up?
It's not the Nimbus 2000 or anything like that.
If you go flying around the room on that, I'm leaving you here. Oh,
Tour. That way I know some people have some other things going on today. He's going to have some trouble walking through there.
Whoa. And it goes up. And I'll try this one. And it goes back up. What do you
the
think?
next one?
Vortexes as well. But we've seen this in several other places. A couple examples, pyramids in Egypt. They have 2 pyramids in a straight line. One comes off at an angle. Aztec pyramids in Mexico, 2 in a straight line, one off at an angle. It just so happens to mirror the one in Egypt is in the opposite direction. Now, we think it has something to do with Orion's constellation, whether it's following or mimicking of some sort, and Orion's belt specifically. And you'll notice that we have 2 stars in a straight line, one that comes off at an angle. And sure, there's more stars that finish out the constellation there. And if you look at a picture of the western United States, you'll see that we have 5 stars. Each of those stars is a privately owned vortex. Now, at each of those, you will see, once again, we have a straight line right here in California, and then up in Oregon starts forming Orion's belt. And you have Montana and South Dakota start forming maybe the upper portion of that bow tie shaped constellation. Makes you wonder, well, what about the other half of the constellation? We think there's many more, and definitely 2 more out in the Pacific Ocean that might form and finish out that shape in that constellation. I think it'd be a rather expensive field trip, but hey, I'm pretty certain they're out there. Now, what's not on this map, I believe there's about 9 known vortexes in the United States, and one of which is Sedona, Arizona. And a lot of people are familiar with the one in Sedona, Arizona. It's public hiking trails, and you walk in and around, and you walk through various different vortexes on the property or in the trails. And a lot of people say that they're not really quite that strong, or they don't really feel things that much. Like I said, definitely keep taking pictures and videos. Weird stuff happens. One of which, orbs. We got orbs here. Very common to find an orb or 2 in your photograph or your pictures. And don't be shocked or alarmed. Like I said, they're pretty common, but definitely check. You may have 1 or 2. Now look at the light coming in through the windows of the House of Mystery here. It starts bending around and getting all swirled, and if you look even closer, you can even see streams of other colors and light within the light coming in. So something's not quite right there. And I think this guy's flash camera, the flash off his phone there, is doing the same thing. Now look at this picture down here. We have it looks like a second ladder in the middle of the room, maybe a second marble ramp in there, and this person's kind of getting smeared across, and this is kind of one big blur right now. And look at the light coming in through the openings. This is what it looks like normally down here. It's just an opening, crack in the wall, but look, now you see the light coming in at perfect waves. It's very, very strange, right? This gentleman down here was hanging on the backside of the ladder, and notice, look closely, he's missing his legs. Not really quite sure where they went, but I hope he found them before he got back down. That would be very, very unfortunate. Now, this photograph happens to be my favorite. One picture was taken here. Now, it looks like almost as if another picture was cut and paste on top, or everything on the right side was cut on an angle. Now, you can see this fuzzy line separating everything, and it cuts this person in half, cuts this person in half, but wait a minute, we have all of that person up here. But pay close attention to this little girl right here. You will see the back of her in this photo, a portion of the photo, and this is the side and front of her in the other portion of the photo. So it's almost as if she's in two places at the same time. This photograph, mom's taking a picture of dad and their daughter. You can see she's looking back at mom right now. And notice how we have another daughter here, maybe half a daughter there, maybe even parts of the daughter manifesting here. We're just seeing multiples of her, so it's very strange, right? And notice how these two gentlemen, they actually didn't know each other. It looks like there's a beam of light connecting them. They're definitely sharing some sort of light energy of some sort there. Now, as I mentioned, we're not exactly sure what's going on when we're in and around these lines of energy and these vortexes. And we think there's definitely something else going on. Maybe we're not seeing. Maybe our eyes and our brains are more or less fibbing to us and deceiving us. And if you think about it, when you look around, what do your eyes do? They gather all this information into your brain, or sends it to your brain. Then it wants to start processing, categorizing. This goes to long term, this goes to short term. And this magical thing called logic kicks in. And it's like, well, let me show you what might, or what I want you to see versus what might not actually be there. And if you think about it, you know, I saw dad and mom in the gift shop, and they had one daughter. They didn't have triplets. Why am I seeing three little girls in front of me right now? Or I've never seen the back and side of someone at the same time, so why am I seeing that right now? So your brain's going to show you what it thinks should be there versus what may actually be there. Now, certainly review your photographs. If you find something strange or weird or regular and you want to let us know, email us, fawn@montanavortex. Now, feel free to come back to the board here and check out some of this more information. I got a couple more demonstrations for you, so come on down.
You got blue?
You can stand on the blue one. What's your favorite color?
Hello?
All right, why don't you stand on the yellow? Why don't you grab the red, and then you two take the last, the orange and green stones there. I'll tell you what, we have 6 people on a stone right now, right? And what I want you to do is look at the person directly across from you and get a good gauge of where their height is. Maybe get an eye-level reference point on them, or maybe, you know, just kind of judge where they're at right now. But then also kind of judge everybody inside the circle here as well. Just get a good gauge of where everyone's at height-wise. And all we're going to do is we're just going to rotate one stone to our right. We're going to see how everybody changes. So whenever we're ready, let's go ahead and rotate around one stone. I think she did get shorter. That's a good observation. He definitely got a little shorter.
Yeah.
He's looking mighty tall over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking a lot taller.
Well, I think we're going to figure the pattern out. Let's keep going. Let's rotate to our next stone. Go to the yellow stone. He looks real. Oh yeah, he's looking super tall right now, right?
He is.
Yeah. We're looking back in the past just a touch there again, and I think you're making a comeback. He's making a comeback. I think we can figure this out. Let's keep going
shorter over
around.
there.
Yeah.
Well, she's definitely getting shorter over there. Yeah, I can see it. If we had people outside this circle, you'd be able to see folks shrinking and growing as you go around right now. But you should be able to see it with your partner directly across from you once again with that point of reference. Let's rotate. Let's get it. Let's go back. We're gonna keep rotating until we get back to where we started. Oh yeah, she almost disappeared on us there. She's so short. We're getting her back up to her normal height, so that's good news. We're shrinking you down. You were looking pretty tall over there, but not much we can do anymore. You're on the shrinking down right now. So let's rotate.
I'm all right with that.
Oh yeah, making a big comeback now. Big comeback. Yeah, you're looking pretty short. You're looking pretty tall over here. You know? Well, let's keep going. I think we got 2 more stones. Oh yeah. Looking short again.
Yeah.
Like I said, it just happens, you know. Well, let's keep going. I think we're getting close. Let's go one more stone. Once again, inside, you guys can see it with each other, right? You guys are shrinking, right? Shrinking and growing, right? Well, I want to point out that behind this gentleman here, there is a 6-foot level leaning against the tree, and feel free to come back afterwards to put the level on all the stones. They are, in fact, level with one another. So when we stand on the blue, yellow, and green stones, we're actually shrinking down. When we stand on the orange, red, and indigo stone, we start to grow back up. When we're on the green stone, we're at our shortest, and we're at our, the indigo stone, we're at our tallest. So she got the best stone of the day, right? All right, I'll tell you what, everybody hop off. I'm going to show you this in another way. She's going to rotate and stop at each stone. But before she does that, get a good gauge of where you're at with him. And nothing's going to happen. You're just the point of reference. But you're going to pivot with her as she goes around. That way you can really see how she changes. And everybody outside, just keep an eye on her as she walks around. And we're going to see her shrink and grow. Definitely shrinking there. Oh, yeah. Ready. Here's your short stone. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
You can see the difference.
Big time. You can see it, right? I know that camera can see it over there.
I'm trying to keep it as level as I can.
I know, right? Here's the big jump right here. That's a good one right there. Yep. All right, well, let's give ourselves a round of applause. You're looking way over your head. Look at the top of your head right now. You can see this, right? We're not quite the same height, but I've definitely shrunk down over here. Would you guys agree with that? Yeah, what? I was going to say, yeah, right? Now let's switch sides. That's more like it.
Oh my.
Yep, I'm looking way overhead like I normally should. So once again, I'm 5'11", you're 5'2", that's a 9-inch difference. So we should have some, it should be a pretty good jump there. But thank you very much. So between these two stones, what we actually have 2 vortexes and lines of energy crossing over one another in one spot. And this is one of the more noticeable places we have this shrink-grow phenomenon. Now, if you play around, you have a electromagnetic anomaly, you play around, you're going to find a spot or two where you can shrink and grow. So if you find something strange, some testing and some experiments, have a shrink grow spot. So like I said, we have about 10 places here at the Montana Vortex. Now, we've been talking a lot about energy from the Earth and these electromagnetic anomalies. We can talk about our own energies. We can go in this direction over here. Really bring your hand down between your feet. Once you get between your feet, once again, really focus on that open space. Kind of maybe focus on a rock or a root on the ground, and just sway your hand back and forth slowly between your feet. You may start to see something strange between your fingers. Maybe fuzziness, cloudiness, some sort of distortion. What do we got? You see something funny over there, strange over there?
I see through it.
You see through it?
Like through my finger, middle finger.
Like you're you're completely missing a finger when you look at it a certain way, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Like what'd you say?
It like tripled.
So you got you might have taken one of his fingers then, right? I don't know. It's possible. So gaining and losing fingers, that's very common. Well, you should be able to see some sort of distortion. And if not, maybe you need to shift your focus. Some people say they have to kind of like use their... Now, this is the only demonstration in the world that this works that we know of. And it's a simple one to determine if our electrons are in a particle or wave function. What you're going to do is you're going to grab a button off the pole. You're going to put your left foot up against the pole. Stand up nice and straight. Keep your head level. And place the button about eye level. Do you guys agree with me that is eye level? Yeah. All right. Now, I'm just going to make one counterclockwise rotation. Once again, keep your back straight, your head level. And I might shrink or grow. And I think I grew just a touch. Maybe about an inch, half-inch there.
Yeah.
And we're going to go backwards clockwise now. Once again, keep that back straight, head level. You might see me shrink because I felt it shrink down. And look at that, I'm back down to my normal height. Shrinking and growing, right? That's what we do here. So when we shrink and grow here, our electrons are in that wave function. And typically, if you shrink and grow here and you're in that wave function, you will ride the wave at the previous demonstration. If nothing happens here, you don't shrink or grow, it just means your electrons are in that vertical function, and typically nothing happens there. Well, that's what we got today. You guys have been a great crowd. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. Thanks for coming out and having some fun with us today. I hope you guys had fun. I certainly had some fun.
As I said earlier, an amazing tour guide for sure. After the tour was over, we did get to walk around and explore on our own for a little bit. Sitting there remembering about how crazy it was from all the different poles of gravity when you're in a certain spot as opposed to another was just crazy to feel. As well as some of the, like with my whole hand starting to go out of focus. It was pretty crazy. It doesn't show that well on camera, sadly, but you just have to take my word for it or come out here and experience it for yourself. I promise you, it was just a trippy little feeling. As far as Bigfoot, no, I did not see it, even though they said to keep an eye out for it. So, as of right now, I'm still kind of not too much of a believer in Bigfoot. Sorry if that offends anyone. But with that said, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you on our next adventure.